So here is a question from the Learning Goal 11 quiz. This is from version 4. So Liat Reyes bought a Jan van Eyck painting for $5 million, and the painting grew in value by 3% every year. So how much is the painting worth 10 years after she bought the painting? So the way that all of these equations work is you start with something. In this case, it's going to be $5 million. And then you multiply by something. So f of x equals 5. So now we just need to figure out what we multiply by. So it grows in value by 3%. We start with 100%, so we're in a decimal though, so we need to leave that as a 1. And then we add 3%. So as a decimal, 3% is 0.03. We have 5 times 1 plus 0.03, and then I'm going to put it to the x power. So every year we're going to multiply 5 by this, and then, so the first year we'll multiply by that, the second year we'll multiply by 5 times this, and then this, and this, so we just keep multiplying by 1.03 every year to the thing that we had before. The next thing it says is we want to know how much is it worth in 10 years. So the equation is a good start, but the next thing we need to do is, first of all, I'm going to put what my x is. So let x be the time in years. So this is actually a really good strategy, even if you think that that variable is very obvious. I guess just because it shows to you what you know. And so when you go to the next step, you're not going to make some of the mistakes that was pretty common. And one of those common mistakes was that people would treat this as months instead of years. So now you have an equation, so we just have to evaluate. So I want this to be an equation. So we need to evaluate at 10 years. So in 10 years, 5 to the 10th power. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it into Desmos, and I get an answer. So I'm going to round this to that. And keeping in mind this is what my units are, so I used 5 for 5 million, so this is just going to be $6.72 million. So in 10 years, she is going to have a painting that's worth 6.72 million. Always start with what you start with, multiply how much it changes by, and then make sure that you're using an exponent, and then make sure you define what your variable is going to be, and then evaluate to find out the answer.